So what's good, y'all? It is Anime K here and we are back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about, is Kawaki going down Code's path? I don't know if I'll title that the video, but basically, right, let me ask you guys a question at the start of the video. Is Kawaki a respectable rival for Boruto right now? Just let me stop right there, think about it. Now, if the answer is yes in your mind, then I don't know what you have been reading, because he's not a respectable rival for Boruto right now. And let me just explain to you guys. So, in these last couple of chapters that we've seen, we've not really seen Kawaki do much, whereas we've seen Boruto do everything. Now, Boruto is the main character, so I guess you're going to see the main character do more than some of the other side characters. But Kawaki, he's basically a main character as well, right? You know, he's like the Sasuke to Naruto, you know, Boruto and Kawaki, you know, they have that type of relationship. You know, they see each other as brothers, they're actual brothers, you know what I mean? But let's get into the first thing that I want to talk about here, and it is when Code turns up to the village, and he turns up with his claw grimes. Now, when these claw grimes turn up, Sarada does a fireball jutsu, right? She kills some of them. But why this moment is funny to me is when Kawaki comes in, right? He comes in and goes, "Get out of my way," and he kills one of the claw grimes. And after that, nearly gets surprise attacked by one of the other claw grimes, and it's literally on the floor like this, right? With his hand up. And then he has to use that big red blast that he has from his karma to basically blast it away. Now, he doesn't die, obviously, because Kawaki's not going to die to some claw grimes. But on the other end, when Boruto is fighting against Code, he literally tells Code, "Look, I'll kill you claw grimes easily. They're not going to do anything to me." He disrespects Code to his face. Code goes, "Oh, you're just bluffing." What does Boruto proceed to do? He proceeds to slash them easily. If you see the panel where he's slashing all of them, and even Code admits, I guess it wasn't a complete bluff. So already from the first interaction and the first time we see both Boruto and Kawaki, right, Boruto is easily getting rid of these claw grimes, right, and easily defeating Code, and Kawaki nearly gets surprise attacked by one of them, which it's not looking good so far for Kawaki personally, right? So that's the first instant where, to me, they don't really look like rivals. Now, the next example I want to use is, you know, when Boruto does his Rasengan Uzuhiko, I think it's called, right? He does that move to Code, and Code's on the floor, and he's about to question Code about the claw grimes and basically where the location is of the Ten Tails. Kawaki comes in and just attacks Boruto, and why this moment annoys me, I don't know why no one else has mentioned it. I don't know if it's just me that is annoyed by this moment, but if Kawaki used his head, he would have realized it would have been smarter for you to question Code, or at least let Boruto question Code, right? Instead of just attacking Boruto. Now, why do I say this? And it is because Boruto, he's going to come back to Konoha, right? It's his home. He wants to change everyone's mind about him. Obviously, that's probably his first goal, or at least one of his goals, right? Also, you still have his mother and his father in your realm as well, so he wants to save them. Plus, Sarada's there, Sumere's there, and his sister is still there as well, so he's going to come back. You would have plenty of opportunities to try kill Boruto. But what I see with Kawaki is he doesn't think he's just like, "Oh, I need to kill Boruto, I'm going to kill Boruto." He doesn't even use his head, right? And when he attacks Boruto, Code manages to get away because of your idiotic decision making. Maybe I'm looking into it too deep, and you guys can say that, I get that, but for me, again, this is one instant that sets Boruto's IQ away from Kawaki, because thankfully Boruto, he put a toad on Code, right? A little bit of rhyming there. He put a toad on Code and then was able to follow Code to his dimension where the Ten Tails was, and was able to gather information on them, and he realized that it's too late, and that Sasuke and the other people that were put into the tree are now awakened divine trees. But still, if Boruto didn't use his head again, we don't know. They completely would have got blindsided. Now, I guess they would have had Ada, right? So I guess they would have maybe known anyway, but still, I just think this moment again is just a bit stupid for me, and I think it shows the differences in their IQ levels, to be honest, because Boruto, he's not really concerned with Kawaki, is what I see with this. He's concerned about saving the world, whereas Kawaki is just trying to kill Boruto. And you know what? I get it why he's trying to kill Boruto, I guess I get it, right? But the only thing is, right, if you do kill Boruto, you're gonna have to fight all the other Ototsukis by yourself, and so far you do not look strong enough to really deal with them. But that's just my opinion. But let's get on to my next point. Now, the next one, and one that people have been very vocal about, is when Mitsuki puts Kawaki to sleep. Now, when Boruto returns to the village in chapter 6 of Boruto, right, he tells Sarada and Sumire about everything that's been going on with Sasuke getting put into a tree and with the awakened divine trees. Now, when this happens, Kawaki realizes that Boruto is in the village because he notices his presence through his karma marking, and Mitsuki puts Kawaki to sleep. Now, a lot of people didn't like this moment, or at least was clowning on Kawaki for this moment, because straight after this, when Mitsuki attacks Boruto, Boruto easily gets out of it, right? When he thrusts his sword in the air, right? Does a little thrust, right? And then uses the flying Raijin to escape from it. Now, I don't want to put too much stock into this because I think it might have been done for the plot wise, obviously, because you don't want Boruto and Kawaki fighting so early on into the story. So I guess that's why it was done, but it does look a little bit embarrassing, I will admit, the fact that Kawaki was easily put to sleep by Mitsuki. Now, people are going a bit far and trying to claim that Mitsuki might be stronger than Kawaki, which I doubt that's the case, because if that was the case, then what's the whole point of this whole story? What was the whole point of showing Kawaki and Boruto fighting at the start of Boruto, right? But I do think that I at least have to mention this moment, right? Because it did look a bit bad on Kawaki. And again, Boruto handles another opponent quite easily that Kawaki just can't handle. So again, it's just not looking good for Kawaki. Now, what do I think will help Kawaki? Now, I think what would help Kawaki is seeing him go against a strong opponent like Boruto has been doing. So the first person is Daemon, because Daemon, he's a respectable opponent, right? Everyone in the fan base knows that he's strong and respects him as a character, right? I mean, the first time Daemon sees Boruto, Kawaki, and even Code, he deals with them fairly easily, right, with his reflective ability, right? So again, I think if Kawaki was to go up against someone like Daemon and do pretty well against him, or even maybe defeat him, that would be a big feat for Kawaki. Another thing would him going up against Code, because the way Boruto deals with Code so easily, right? I think if Kawaki did the same thing, I think it would at least show that Kawaki is at least close to Boruto's level, right? Because so far that hasn't been shown. But I think what Kawaki needs, he needs a moment where he displays his strength and he shows us that, look, these are the two guys that are at the top right now, meaning Kawaki and Boruto. But right now, from what I've seen, it looks like Boruto is just leagues ahead of Kawaki in both intelligence and abilities. And the fact that Boruto probably hasn't had to go all out yet against any opponent is just crazy. So Boruto probably has more moves in his arsenal. We're probably going to see most of them, or at least some more moves in this up and coming Mitsuki fight. Now, I'm going to end this video by saying, to be fair to Kawaki, right, when Sasuke and Naruto were first shown after the time skip, right, Sasuke did deal with Naruto and Team 7 minus Kakashi pretty easily, right, and nearly does the Kirin to them, which would have definitely killed them. So I guess it's not too different from the time skip, but I don't know, it just feels different with Kawaki. I don't know why. It just feels like Boruto is leagues ahead. Now, when Sasuke obviously nearly killed Team 7, it did feel like Sasuke was leagues ahead of them, right? But I don't know. Straight after this, Naruto goes on to train, right? Now, again, I will admit, we're only like, what, 6 chapters in, so I won't go too hard on Kawaki in this video, even though I have gone hard on him in this video, but I won't go too hard on him because I know it's early and we could still see some of Kawaki's abilities. But watching these chapters, it just shows me that ninjutsu, even though these karmas are here, right, I think ninjutsu is still a big part of Boruto, because if you realize, a lot of the stuff that Boruto was used to either get out of these situations is all been ninjutsu. He uses this sword, which is, I think sword is called kinjutsu, right? And then obviously you've got the flying Raijin, which was an ability created years and years before Boruto was even thought of, right, during the War in States period with Tobirama. So it just goes to show that ninjas are still very valuable even in Boruto, right? And still very good, and a lot of ninja abilities are being carried over. But I'm going to end the video here. You guys let me know, how do you think about Kawaki right now? How do you feel about him? Because me personally, he's in a grey area for me. I love his character, right? I love his ability. I love his eye right now. You know, Ishiki's eye, I really like them black rods, but I would like to see more from Kawaki. But again, I will acknowledge that it is early in the chapters, but from what we've seen from Boruto, I just think we need more from Kawaki. And what's crazy is I don't think we're even going to see it in the next chapter, because we're going to have a Mitsuki versus Boruto fight. So Kawaki again, Kawaki might still be asleep in these chapters, so Kawaki again barely might be in chapter 7, so we might have to wait till chapter 8, which I don't know. But guys, let me know what you think. Am I overreacting? Is Kawaki still a respected character in the fan base right now? How do you feel about Kawaki? Because I won't say he's completely going down the Code route, because he's not been embarrassed like Code, but in terms of respect level, I think we need more from Kawaki, right? I need more. I need to be invested in his character. I need to be invested into their fight. Because right now, if someone asked me if Cohen and Kawaki fought, how would the fight go? I'd probably say, sorry, not Cohen and Kawaki, sorry guys, Boruto and Kawaki. I would probably say that Boruto cakewalks him. But that's just my opinion. But look guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, tell me your thoughts in the comment below. Thank you for watching, listening, or however you choose to indulge in my content, and peace. I'm out.